Good evening, fellow viewers all over the world. Uh, this is your TBC loyalist. The topic I have today is TBC is leading the charge on a better tomorrow. Actually, many of us today are facing a big challenge, and we thank God as we are facing different kinds of challenges. Things are not moving fine. Hunger, poverty, different challenge that we can think of. But we thank God for TBC, who is taking this challenge today and trying to wipe away many people's tears, trying to wipe away poverty from the whole world. Permit me to share my screen for a better understanding. Like I said earlier on, that the topic is TBC is leading the charge on a better tomorrow. If we watch very well on the screen, we'll see a little girl, a person that she's bold enough to face and to challenge the world, that challenges people, the government on a time during the time about how people are suffering. May we give God the glory that uh she's really an advocate, and God is using her. And we thank God that God is using the founder of TBC too. As I watched this popular video for the very first time, I could not help the tears from rolling down my cheeks, blurring my vision for most of it. The profound truths coming out of the mouth of this 12 years old girl resonates with even greater force today. Now that it has been decades since she spoke them, in many ways, the issue the issues she raised in 1992 has progressively gotten worse since then. The table have turned on several clues. Suzuki, uh, that is the girl speaking as a girl in this video, addressing adults about a world filled with children, and what the responsibility of the adults are regarding them. She is now an adult herself. She is a 36 years old wife and mother of two children, and she continues to be an activist. She's been an activist since 12 years old because she sees how people are suffering. She's been an activist since then, and now she's grown into a full woman even having two children, and she's still an activist now. Below you below you will find the entire text of her speech, which will hopefully spread to every soul on earth. Allow me to take a few quotes from it and tie it together with the overarching mission of the billion coin community. From a child's perspective, she said, coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the striving children around the world whose cries goes unheard. We can see actually many children goes crying but nobody to assist. Some will be hungry, they will still go crying. That's why we can see that some children go begging for food. They will be carrying plates all about just because they are hungry and no one to hear their cry. And that is why we see some children, as they continue to beg, when nobody to hear them, they go about stealing. We can see that is why this woman now become an activist fighting for such since 92, and we thank God who is been helping. Those first words made my heart swell up and my eyes watery. I had traveled quite a bit, even to many third world countries. I have personally witnessed starving children. Oh, yeah. Just like I said, when a child is very hungry and nothing to do, you see that child, anything he see you keeping, we go and be stealing, you see. She has traveled different countries and she sees starving children. And they are everywhere. Yes. A malnourished child is even more common than starving children and is a practically just as bad. I've seen children being used to raise money in the streets as beggars. When there's no food, they will go begging in the streets. And apparently, many of these children have been kidnapped from their parents for that purpose. It's a disgusting sight to witness firsthand, especially when some of these children have been purposely maimed so that they could collect even more coins. Child prostitution has also become commonplace in some parts of the country. Some children have not only lost their future, they have lost their childhood. We can see how children are suffering, how people, human beings are suffering because of poverty. We can see how they will turn some children to become a beggar in the street. They will make some children, they will use them to be raising money in the street as what? As beggars. They will even put things on some children, go and be selling. And as they are going about, they can be kidnapped. A child that is kidnapped, will you ever see that child again? They may ask for money, and we can see they will even make some of the children to go prostituting, go for prostitution, just to get money for feeding. And by so doing, they make some to lose their lives. That is what this little girl that has become an adult, a woman now, is laying emphasis on. And we thank God for TBC, who has show face to eradicate all this rubbish out of our lives. By the time she spoke the following words, the tears were rolling down my cheeks. Did you have a worry of these things when you were my age? All this is happening because before my eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. I'm only a child, and I don't have all the solution. I don't. I want you to realize neither do you, neither do you. Do you don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layers. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up in a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct, and you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. She's right. If we don't know how to fix something, at least we can stop breaking it and making it even worse. Then, like an arrow to the heart, she speaks the truth. Here delegates, you may be delegates of your government, business people, organizers, reporters, or politicians, but real, you are mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, and all of you are someone's child. If you had a pleasant childhood, be grateful. If you have a difficult childhood, may it give you the strength to make a better way for your children. Always remember that you were once a child too. You counted on the adults in your life to tend to your matter. and you are responsible for the next generation. It is it's easy to point fingers and blames on our leaders. Let me tell you something. Our leaders are not completely at fault for the conditions we find ourselves in today. This is a mess. We are all at fault. If you need to find someone to blame, just step in front of the mirror and stop making excuses for yourself. If you claim if you claim that you are simple, don't have enough to share with others, that you are barely getting by yourself by yourself, then TBC can change that. Even if you can afford the purchase of just one TBC coin, then buy it and be grateful, because within that one TBC coin is the potential of enormous wealth for you. You you no longer have to waste your precious life on the excuse of not having enough. The world, if full of every resources needed to provide comfort and security to every man, woman, and child on it. To believe otherwise means you have fully embraced the great deception that scarcity is real. Scarcity is not real. Shortage comes and go. But scarcity is an artificial device used against the masses to kill them and to enslave them. Are you a slave? Do you want to be a slave? The real truth is that humanity does not need money. An awakened humanity could operate without an awakened humanity could operate without the time consuming and cumbersome activities associated with money. TBC leads the pathway to a world filled with empowered individual living meaningful lives, and joy will be the natural byproducts on an existence driven by pure love. TBC is part of a bridge from the world today to a much better world tomorrow. TBC, a form of money, would flood in the resources desired so fast for each of you. That will become self-evident evidence to all that the resources were always there and we only needed to change our minds to access them. Like I said, when hunger becomes hunger and children are sent outside to go on the streets to go and be hawking, people out there will abuse them. They will abuse them by even raping some, all in the name of come I will buy the things you are selling. This happens in different places, in different parts of the world. And a female child that is hawking and wants to sell all her goods, some guys can lure her inside and set in the name of buying things and abuse her. Some children that goes about begging in the streets can also be abused by being kidnapped. Once a child is kidnapped, does not mean that they will care for the child. The kidnappers will never care for the child. Instead, they will be looking for ransom and they will be demanding from the parent of that child, a parent that sent the child to go and be begging, please, where will they get money to rescue that child? And in that process, if the parent do not go on time for their child, that child can be abused. We thank God for TBC. TBC, may God bless the founder, may God bless the admin for your hard work towards all this mess. For you wants to for trying to eradicate all the mess that many souls that don't have God's fear have been creating or have been doing. This little girl that has become a mother now have seen many things, but we thank God, despite that we cannot change things, we thank God for TBC who has come for our rescue. And that is why it is good for us to recruit more people, for more people and more souls to be taken away from poverty, so that poverty will not be part of our lives again. Thank God for TBC. At least with TBC, many homes have changed now. And that is why we should recruit more people, so that those that have not heard of it or those that have not been joined will be able to come and join, for poverty to leave their domain, for poverty to leave their environment, for poverty to be eradicated from their community. We thank God for this young lady who is a mother now, who opens our eyes to see many and many and many things. It is true that when a child going begging, let me tell you the truth, that child that is going begging in different places or in different streets is not equally happy too to be doing that, but because there is no any other means, some of them can even be captured and be sent for prostitution. And let me tell you, that child that is being sent or is being kidnapped is not happy about that. So we thank God for TBC. At least with TBC, many parents will have and to eat and it will remain, and their children will not be malnourished again, and the children will not be kidnapped again. We'll be able to fend for our family through the help of TBC. Because without TBC, to find solution to all these problems, it's been difficult. It's been very, very difficult. It's not as if anybody is sleeping, lying down in the house, crossing leg. Everybody is struggling. And that is why we should recruit more people so that they will enjoy these millions of naira or billions of naira that TBC is planning for us. May God help us in Jesus' name. TBC don't want you to be selfish. Please have your brothers and sisters in mind, in your community, in your family, among your friends. Have them in mind, have them in your mind that yes, as TBC has planned to make you wealthy, you have to make them, recruit them for them to be wealthy too, so that we will reach this billion we are looking for everybody to begin to enjoy this money, to begin to enjoy this TBC, the billion coin. God will see us through in Jesus' name. You don't need to send your child to go and be hawking when you are being recruited as a TBCian. Once you join this TBC and you become a TBCian, let me tell you the truth, poverty has been eradicated from your life, because TBC means abundance and prosperity. And once you join the family of abundance and prosperity, just believe that you are automatically a prosper human being. That is what TBC wants us to be. And it shall come to pass in Jesus' name. We will surely reach that 1 billion. It is very easy to point fingers and blame our leaders. Let me tell you something, our leaders are not completely at fault for the condition we find ourselves in today. This is our mess. We are all at fault. You see, we are all at fault. If you need to find someone to blame, just step in front of the mirror and stop making excuses of yourself. You don't have to blame the governor for that. You don't have to blame the government for all that is happening. We should have it at the back of our mind that everywhere is like that. But when we embrace TBC, things will change for good. Our life will change. It will change for good. It will change for better. And we have the best life to live in. If my claims that you don't have enough to share with others, that you are barely getting by yourself, then TBC can change that. You don't even have enough for yourself. Talk more of you sharing with others. But when you embrace TBC, when you join TBC, you have more than enough. Like I say, TBC is life changing. It's life changer. You have in abundance. You have in abundance You will live the life of prosperity. You will live a wealthy life. You will never regret joining TBC. You no longer have to waste your precious life on the excuses of not having enough. That is, if you embrace TBC. So embrace TBC today, recruit more people, and let's make life easy for every one of us. TBC is good. We thank God for the founder and the admin people who are making promises. They are making what? Promises. And they are bringing it to fulfillment. God will see us through in Jesus' name. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all part of a family. 5 billion strong, in fact 30 million pieces strong, and border and government will never change that. You see, government will never change that which the TBC have in mind for everyone. Yet I know we are all in this together and should act as one single world together, one single goal. In my anger, I'm not blind, and in my fear, I'm not afraid of telling the world how I feel. In my country, we make so much waste. We buy and throw away. You see? Buy and throw away. Buy and throw away. And yet, other countries will not share with the needy. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go of some of our wealth. In Canada, in Canada, we live a privileged life with plenty food. We have plenty of food, water, and shelter. We have washes, bicycles, computers, and television sets. The list could go on for 2 days. 2 days ago, here in Brazil, we were shocked when we spent time on some children living on the streets. This is what one child told us. I wish I was rich, and if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicine, shelter, and love and affection. Yeah. If a child on the street who has nothing is willing to share, why are we who have everything still so greedy? I can't stop thinking that these are children my own age, that it makes a tremendous difference where you are born. That I could be one of those children living in the favelas of Rio. I could be a child starving in Somalia, or a victim of war in the Middle East, or a beggar in India. I am only a child, yet I know if all the money spent on war was spent on finding environmental answer, ending poverty, and in finding treaties, what a wonderful place this earth will be. At school, even in kindergarten, you teach us how to behave in the world. You teach us not to fight with others, to work things out, to respect others, to clean up our mess, not to hurt other creature, to share, not to greedy. Then why do you go out and do the things you tell us not to do? Not to do. Do not forget why you are attending this conference, who you are doing this for, who you are doing this for. We are your own children. We are deciding what kind of a world we are growing up in. What kind of world are we growing up in? Parents should be able to comfort their children by saying everything's going to be all right. Yes, it is good. You give your children positive words. You speak positive things into their life and let them make sure they know that TBC is real. TBC is abundance. TBC is prosperity. My dad always say, you are what you do, not what you say. Well, what you do makes me cry at night. You grown ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please make your action reflect your words. Thanks. You should make your action to reflect your words. You should know that when you are when you have spoken to somebody, do what you say. What you know is good, you should do it. That is, you should let people know about TBC so that they will never remain in poverty. It's poverty that make people to send their children to go and be begging up and down. Recruit more people and let them know that poverty will end in their life if they embrace TBC. May God help us in Jesus' name. May God help us in Jesus' name. TBC is real. TBC is abundance. TBC is abundance. TBC is prosperity. TBC gives lives. If you are no more in poverty, that means you have life. Poverty kills. My brothers, my sisters, poverty kills. If one is sick and does not have money to buy drug, the sickness that is not up to killing somebody will kill the person. Please recruit more people. Let them know about TBC. TBC is real. So that we will live a poverty life and we will be wealthy, just as that little girl is saying. You will have more to share to others who are in need. You'll be able to share what you have with your fellow human being. because you have money. May God help us in Jesus' name. Thanks for listening to me, and stay blessed. Bye bye.